Welcome back to another episode of BS Free MD Doctales with cocktail. And
well, I will have more than one, so it's still Doctales with cocktails.
And I am sober for at least the next 9 months, or more on that later.
Oh yes, because you're pregnant.
Where Tim's got some fun.
No, she's not pregnant. In case someone is freaking out, but whatever.
I said more on that later.
Okay.
But you could not just wait, could you? Anyway, today Tim's got some great and stupid stories related to things in the news, and we're going to learn about what the ultimate bush is. I hated to even read that. The FDA, in one letter, nukes the vaccine industry. Trump uses the word retarded, and Tim couldn't be happier. And a special birthday reminder that helps us remember what life really is all about.
Okay, mate. When you hear the word ultimate bush, what do you think? Do you think of maybe George Bush, George H.W. Bush, George Walker Bush, maybe a nice can of Bush beer?
Funny that you said that, because the first thing that popped into my head was Kate Bush, the singer. Does anybody even know who she is?
Right.
Or beer.
Maybe the burning bush.
That too.
If you're more spiritually minded. No. Kim Kardashian, and her business Skims, which I didn't even know existed until this. No, she has come up with a new thong.
Not a new song.
And a new thong. Well, if you had a lisp, then you would sing a thong. And she has come out with this new undergarment. Let's put it that way. That would be the most politically correct way to say it. A new undergarment that's called the ultimate bush. Basically, what the ultimate bush is a couple strings with the front part being fake pubic hair. And when we say fake pubic hair, it looks very, very real. And it comes in
How did you wait? How did you discover this? Do you remember? Someone send it to me?
Popped up on an
Instagram feed
someone
or sent it to me on Instagram.
And I said, as soon as I saw it, I said, that's a Doctales episode, 100%. Okay, so she sells this as the ultimate bush. It comes in numerous colors and numerous sizes, from double XS, so extra small, to 4XL.
Well, not just sizes. I think like shapes and designs
and colors. And I'm wondering if they have one for the villages that's like the Silver Fox edition, where the carpet really does match the drapes.
Okay, so I'm like, what in the world? Why would any woman want this? It's not.
They've been sold out for months.
It's not for the women. It's for the guys. This is just not up my alley. I can't relate, so I can't even comment on this anymore.
Well, I think
I guess it should be me commenting on it, not you.
I have a theory.
What's your theory?
I think it's because
she sells it, so everybody buys it.
No, I think there's that, but I think the theory is that because I'm trying to be appropriate, but I might have to just. Because most women have Brazilians, let's put it that way.
Ah, there you go.
This is like...
It's like wearing a wig.
You can wear a hat, you cannot wear a hat. You can wear a toupee, you cannot wear a toupee.
Very good insight. Actually, you're right. I think you're right.
It adds this sort of...
Yes.
Mystery.
It's just like when I watch the Masked Singer, and I'm like, how come Jenny McCarthy's hair one week is like in a cute little bob, and the next week it's down to her waist, and the next week it's like whatever. There you go. It's the same. It's the same with the Skims.
What was hilarious though was when I looked this up on the website. They have women modeling this, but they blur out the front, and I'm like, what do you? It's fake. Like, what are you blurring out? Like, you can look at the actual garment, which is literally just strings and this little thing in the front.
What you can do, I guess, people could just make their own. Just get a little string bikini and follow their husband into the shower when he does like his shearing for the month, and take all that extra hair and just stick it, like get some Gorilla Glue, and there you go.
You could.
You got your little craft there. You can be craft project for all you kindergarten classes. Can you imagine? Yes. Forget the macaroni art. We're just gonna do pubic hair art.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, groomer.
You
we appreciate
started
that.
this.
Oh yeah. I know. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
But
Take me off.
This is a technically
We
Doctales.
don't
so
have
it's,
a picture of this, right? It's
oh,
not.
we have a picture.
Oh
of it.
no.
Oh
we're
yes,
not
we have a
sharing
picture.
a picture of
Well,
this.
of course
are
we are.
Oh my gosh.
100%.
Where's our Gelman?
So then, but here's the other side of this. You know, this is Doctales, so it's supposed to have some medical relevance. Kim was not the first person to come up with the idea of fake pubic hair and selling it as a pubic wig, because that's what it is. There is something that they had in the Wild West called a merkin.
Oh.
M-E-R-K-I-N, merkin. And these guys had like a box of pubic wigs that they would drive around to various saloons and sell them, largely to whores, because they were so diseased and so riddled with pubic lice and whatnot that they would have to shave said nether region. But then men would be like, well, if that is shaved, because Brazilians were not popular in like 1850, then she must be diseased, which is very bad for business.
Right. There you go.
So then you could buy a merkin or a pubic wig and wear that, and then, but I don't know if they left it on.
Too bad
I
she
don't know.
didn't adopt the name. That would be kind of cool if she brought back the name. But maybe she doesn't know. You could write to her and let her know. Marketing
I'm
idea.
thinking she probably doesn't know. So at any rate.
Well, I think we've circled that one into the ground.
We've killed that one.
What's next?
FDA nukes the vax industry. Vinay Prasad wrote a letter, and he's the head of CBER, CERBER, which is basically the sub part of the FDA that looks at vaccines and biologics. So like monoclonal antibodies, those kind of things. And it is crazy. I'm going to give you the highlights. The letter is an easy, like 5-minute read. It's unbelievably well crafted, and it's very concise. And I got it off of Robert Malone's Substack. If you look back, he posts the whole thing because there's tons of commentary about it. Just read the thing because it's easy to read. It's amazing.
Okay.
Highlights. At least 10 children died from COVID vaccination that were healthy. Healthy kids didn't necessarily need a vaccine because COVID is so unbelievably non-dangerous. And then they got the vax and they died. And this was out of 96 that they studied. So that's huge. That's over 10%, just over 10% died. That you can't extrapolate to 10% of all kids, obviously, but in this sub cohort that they looked at, and they were very rigorous, and they're like, this is what happened. Myocarditis was way more likely to harm children. He puts that out in the letter. He's like, why were we promoting this to children that had virtually zero risk of death when we knew that there was harms that the CDC or the FDA rather actually didn't talk about? Like they essentially hid them. They were very late in acknowledging risk. He talks about that. And then he comes out with this amazing question, which we think is obvious, but to regulators it wasn't, which is, did the vax kill more kids than it saved? And I think it's probably intuitively obvious that that's the case. And then he drops the absolute bomb. So I'm going to read this. This is the last couple paragraphs of the letter.
Okay.
And it really is amazing, but you have to read it to get it, so I'm not going to just comment. I want to outline a path forward. Our general approach at CBER will be to direct vaccine regulation towards evidence-based medicine. This means we will take swift action regarding this new safety concern. We will not be granting marketing authorization to vaccines in pregnant women based on unproven surrogate endpoints. Any prior promises will be null and void. We will demand pre-market randomized trials assessing clinical endpoints for new products. Okay, what does this mean? This is what people don't understand. Vaccines that they say are the most widely studied things in the world, they aren't. You can get a vaccine approved by showing that it produces an antibody, which is an unproven surrogate endpoint. So in other words, to get a vaccine approved, you don't need to show that it actually prevents pneumonia. You just have to show that it produces antibodies to pneumonia. Okay, so then they're still protected from liability. Pneumonia vaccine makers, he goes on, will have to show that their products reduce pneumonia. Actually do what they say it does, at least in the post-marketing setting, and not merely generate antibody titers. Immunogenicity will no longer be used to expand indicated populations. These populations should be included in pre-market randomized controlled trials. We will revise, this is just beautiful, the annual flu vaccine framework, which is an evidence-based catastrophe of low-quality evidence. Poor surrogate assays and uncertain vaccine effectiveness measured in case control studies with poor methods. Kaboom. He blows up flu shots. No good evidence flu shots do anything to prevent flu or hospitalization or death. They definitely don't prevent any of those things, including transmission. And then he goes on. Additionally, the FDA will not be focused. At the FDA, we have not been focused on understanding the benefits and harms of giving multiple vaccines at the same time.
I mean, hasn't everyone been questioning that forever? Like,
well,
how can that be safe when you combine all of those at once?
And that's what he says. This has been
especially
a concern
to a poor,
shared by many Americans.
Evolving little immune system.
Right. So, have vaccines been studied on giving all 72 shots to kids? Nope. And so that's done. So that's done. And then he ties it up with this. And this is the absolute atomic explosion. Vaccines will be treated like all other medication classes, no better or worse than AAVA vectors, monoclonal antibodies, or antisense oligonucleotides. Insofar as vaccines have third-party benefits, and many do, these will be judged just like other drugs. In other words, what he's getting at with the third-party benefits thing is he's getting at this idea that you don't just vaccinate for yourself, you vaccinate for your community.
Yeah.
Okay? So clearly,
take one for the team.
Yeah. So clearly the COVID vaccine did not have any third-party benefits. If it benefited you, if you got it really early in the pandemic and you were really old with multiple medical problems, it may have helped you. But this idea that you got a COVID vaccine to help grandma, zero evidence because it doesn't stop transmission. Could you make an argument of secondary or tertiary benefit from a measles vaccine? Sure. If you have herd immunity to measles, people get less measles. Now, do they get more other diseases and would be better off getting measles? Who knows? Yeah. Because it's never been studied. Wow. So this is unbelievable. This is huge. It's absolutely earth-shaking. We'll see where it goes. And of course, Paul Offit and Frumpy Face, what's his name there? Bowtie Boy, they're all freaking out. They've all made millions off of this. They're saying, like, Offit was yesterday or 2 days ago was on CNN because they changed the guidance on the day of birth hepatitis B vaccine. He actually said 50% of Americans have hepatitis B and don't know it. So 165 million Americans have hepatitis B.
And how does he know it?
Okay, well, that's complete, I mean, that's just a lie. And if 165 million Americans have silent hepatitis B that they don't know about, and we have been giving millions and millions of babies for 35 years the hepatitis B series starting at birth, we should have no hepatitis B if the vaccine worked. So it obviously doesn't work. So you, Paul Offit, are retarded.
I wonder if he's referring to
which gets us to the next story.
To Hep C or what the heck he was thinking. I don't know.
Which gets us to the next story. What a beautiful segue. I can't believe it. I swear to you, Suncoast Gold vodka from Loaded Cannon Distillery makes me smarter.
You brought the can in here, right?
I brought the cannon. I'm letting the cannon loose.
So what flavor is this?
That is my favorite flavor. Vodka flavor.
No flavor.
Exactly. It's vodka flavored vodka.
And it's your refreshing drink mixed with?
It's mixed with clear crayon.
Ooh, that clear crayon.
Because someone had a colonoscopy and needed clear cranberry juice.
That stuff's actually pretty good. And you know what? Next time I'm not doing the whole prep because I think I'm allergic to that PEG stuff. With we talked about mast cell problem. I'm just doing clear crayon, some Gatorade, a bunch of salt, and let my histamine run wild, and I'll be good. That clear crayon's great. And I'm drinking just a San Pellegrino because, as I said, I am alcohol-free.
You don't want to see me alcohol-free.
I'm staying sober because...
you don't want to get pulled over?
I don't. do well right now with alcohol in my system, being that I talked about it on another show. I've got the long COVID problems with my mast cell issues in my gut, and it's helping not to drink any alcohol for sure. So I'll be back later for this.
I may really completely lose my mind on this next segment. So Trump calls Tim Walz in a Truth Social post seriously retarded. And it goes bananas viral and tons of stuff. Okay, why are we talking about this? We're talking about this because this has driven me absolutely crazy for I don't know how long. It's like, how did the word retarded become the R word? It's not the R word. It is a descriptor. We used to have pictures of the Knights of Columbus always did these, mental disabilities fundraisers. That was their thing, right? Like the Rotary does digging wells in Africa or whatever. And they'd have signs walking around. These nice Catholic gentlemen help retarded children, right? And now it's just like this, we let our language be hijacked. And I hate that. So I'm so excited and I am so thankful that Trump is bringing it back. And I'm wondering if he's going to start a new campaign, which is, you've heard of MAGA, you've heard of MAHA, but I'm going to start MURGA, make retarded great again. Because he should. But it gets better because people are like on social media, they're all pissed off. I expect more from the president, blah, 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 blah. And then one of our, friends of child wrote this and posted this thing from the National Down Syndrome Society. And the quote was, "The R word perpetuates harmful stereotypes and barriers for people with Down syndrome and other disabilities." Okay, hang on. Just get that. The R word perpetuates harmful stereotypes and barriers for people with Down syndrome. The last time I checked, I didn't think language or what you called people was a barrier to people with Down syndrome. My assumption was the barrier was the extra chromosome. That was the nuisance that got in the way. Like, you're not an astronaut with Down syndrome, right? It wasn't like in 1969 we heard, I'm sorry, the eagle has crashed. Can I have more applesauce from the tube of like toothpaste that tastes like applesauce, please? No, Neil Armstrong had all of the chromosomes in the right order. That's why he was an astronaut. And whether you called him something didn't matter.
Here, I'm going to just jump in and say, the thing that really frosts my cookies about this whole language thing is that it's the English language, and words can have multiple meanings. We do it all the time. And there's asses, which is like actually a donkey versus a person versus like your butt. But in derogatory terms, maybe the origination of the word retarded, which meant slowed down, is maybe derogatory to call those people retarded, even though they're mentally slow. My point being...
We still use idiot and moron.
Yeah, well, my point is that somehow society's decided that if you say that word, retarded, you're inferring somebody is like handicapped like a Down syndrome person. I never even equate the two. To me, it is like its own separate meaning. So calling a person that is a derogatory term to say like you're being stupid, you're being slow, you're being an idiot. It's not like you're being a handicapped person with Down syndrome or a person who's got severely autistic tendencies. That never even crosses my mind. Just like there's other cuss words that do have multiple meanings where people don't really infer the two.
Or the N-word, which is actually hateful to an immutable characteristic.
Yeah, that to me gets closer to the line. But I'll say, there's another word.
That's actually meant to be offensive.
So people have taken it up as a cause. And it's like, well, because people that are mentally slowed and handicapped have a retarded sense of thinking, well, you can never use that word to call someone else a derogatory term because now you're inferring that. I mean, to me, it just makes no sense. The other word, of course, and I'm going to say it because it's the word I used to use and my friend does because we grew up with it, is the word gay. Gay has so many meanings. It can mean you're happy. It's a woman's name. It happens to be, if you are a homosexual man, that's a term, and I don't know how they adopted that. Do you have any idea how they started using that? I would like to look that up.
Very, very
because
good point.
To me, gay means silly. And so, we would go and I would see some sign and it's like this and this and this. I'm like, oh, that's so gay. And the kids would elbow me. Shh, Mom, you can't say that in this day and age. I'm like, well, why not? Because it doesn't mean I'm talking about homosexual men. It means silly. Because it also means happy. And it also is some nurse I used to work with. And so I think that
fat.
whole
How about fat? That's the new F word.
No,
body positivity. No, you're fat. Like, who doesn't, if you're really, like, look, if you're sitting on an airplane next to someone that's 380 pounds, who doesn't know they're fat?
Right.
Well, like Helen Keller could tell because she could feel it oozing underneath the armrest and rubbing up against her thigh.
Well, there's one thing about actually making fun of someone and putting them down for whatever. But when you're throwing around some of these words, I mean, I don't understand.
I don't want sterilized language anymore.
No.
I don't. Like, I get it. It might be offensive and it might be rude, but that's okay. Deal with it. And the other thing, and you intimated this.
Well, don't call me a ragamuffin because you're just being rude to muffins.
Oh, you nincompoop. So it's like this whole business of taking up offense for somebody else. Okay, remember we did that Bible study for I don't know how many weeks, and it was the bait of Satan. It's the idea that you take up offense for someone else, right? And the ultimate taking up of offense for other people is the word retarded. Because guess what? Down syndrome people don't care if you call them retarded because they're retarded. It's pretty simple. And so it's this, we have to take up offense. We have to take, the poor retarded people, they can't be pissed off, and we have to be pissed off because everyone has to be pissed off about something.
Well, I think people don't even call them that. They use the nice politically correct term handicapped.
Yeah.
How many people are actually calling
but even handicapped has been sterilized. They're differently abled. No, they're not differently abled. Because guess what? When I get in an Uber, I don't want a differently abled person driving the Uber.
What bothers
I want a normal Uber driver. He kind of smells a little bit odd. And he pays attention to the GPS. That's what I want.
I mean, is there committees that sit around?
I don't want the guy sucking the applesauce out of the toothpaste tube.
Is there committees of people that sit around and think, they must be the ones that are petting their cats and doing their knitting and singing Kumbaya and decide, I think these people are offended now by this term. Let's change it.
It's an entire cabal of Karens.
It is terrible.
Seriously, okay, so let's see.
Anyway.
Bureaucracy means government by the bureau, right? By the desk. So then there would be like kleptocracy means government by thieves, which would be essentially Russia. So this is a Karenocracy.
Poor Karen. Now you're making fun of Karen.
It's a Karenocracy. That's what it is. We live in a Karenocracy.
I want to know who came up with that, deciding to make fun of anyone named Karen.
Again, I don't know, but they're a genius. Why don't we play that beautiful clip of Mr. Elmer Fudd, Tim Walz?
Creates danger. And I'll tell you what, in my time on this, I'd never seen this before. People driving by my house and using the R word in front of people. This is shameful. And I have yet to see an elected official, a Republican elected official, say, you're right, that's shameful. He should not say it. So look, I'm worried. We know how these things go. They start with taunts, they turn to violence. So deeply concerned.
Okay. Mr. Elmer Fudd, POS. They turn to violence. That's right. Because you were in Butler, Pennsylvania and got your fucking ear shot off, right? That was you, right, Tampon? Timmy, you Timmy Tard? That was you. No, it wasn't. It was President Trump. And who was calling him a frickin' Nazi for the last God knows how many years? It was you guys. So shut up. It's not shameful. It's frickin' awesome. And you know what happened? He didn't show any evidence of anyone saying that people have driven by his house and said retard. So you know what's happened? Is there has been a stream of people posting on Instagram, driving by his house yelling retard over and over and over. He has no idea, as Stephen Crowder says, he has no idea how the internet works. And he plays right into people's hands because he's probably, as the Babylon Bee says, people in the mental disabilities community are now upset at being compared to Tim Walz. And I think it's true. It's like you can't, they're scared of violence. They're the perpetrators of violence. Please just shut up. Please just go away. Just take your $1 billion of Somali fraud and go to jail. Whatever. Wow. I think we kicked the hell out of that one.
From laughing to frothing. Oh my.
Yeah, sorry. I said the F word. Fat. Anyways, we shall move on. Something struck me a week or two ago. I'm listening to Tucker Carlson on Sean Ryan's show. And I like both of them. I've listened to hundreds of hours of both of their shows. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for their podcasting ability, for their courage to ask hard questions. And it really hit me. It was like, these guys don't seem happy. And I don't think we win the debate. I don't think we attract people to our side with clever arguments and with being pissed off. I think we attract people, just 1 second. I think we attract people by them looking at us and seeing through us and seeing our words and tasting our hearts and going, you know what, whatever that guy has, that's what I want. And I think that we have lost the joy because we have lost connection to the giver of joy. And then I saw this clip of Klaus Obermeyer, who has skied for 99 years of his life. And he shares this. Let's have a look at this and then I'll get back. I'm sorry for interrupting.
I'm 106 years old. It's my birthday. And when I was 3 years old, I saw the first skier in my life. And skiing changed my life totally into a wonderful life of fun and exercise and love for the outdoors and love for the other people who also share the skiing with us. And they do say that shared fun is twice the fun.
I can almost not talk after that. Skiing has been such a big part of my life. I've been skiing for 53 years, and he skied for 99 years, from 3 years old to 102. And he shared the joy. And I think...
That's so cool that he got to do that long.
Yeah. But, how many people get to 106 because they're... He didn't say, I'm Klaus Obermeyer, I built a big business, I loved skiing, and I hate Donald Trump. Or I think Kamala's insane, or whatever. He did it because he just shared his joy. And I think we will be far more attractive. I mean, no one is... I saw this meme, and it was just brilliant. No one is... You don't convince people using clever arguments when they drew their conclusion based on an emotional argument. It just doesn't work. And if we're going to change hearts and minds, it starts with hearts, and then it moves to minds.
Yeah, I was going to say that sometimes it depends, when you're talking about the podcast you're listening to or the topic, I mean, the tone, the seriousness of it. I mean, man, sometimes it's very hard to find, like, the joy in that, and I'm sure it can come across very depressing, sort of downer, unless you really want to try to wrap it up at the end with a positive spin. But
well, Tim Tebow's done a pretty good job of it. I mean, he's very, very deep into the child trafficking world, and there's nothing in the entire world more dark than that. There's nothing darker than that. And he still
good point.
He still comes across as a very joyful Christian. And he's doing this for these children because of the master he serves. And I'm telling you, I mean, it's 1 Peter 3:15. It's always be ready to give a defense for the hope that you have. You don't give a defense for hope when you're hopeless. We are not hopeless. We know how this ends. We need to fight. We need to fight hard. We need to use our minds. But we also need to understand that God is on the throne and we aren't. The other thing we need to understand is you don't have to fight every single fight. Every single battle is not yours.
Right.
You're called to fight the good fight, but you're also called to fight your fight. And your fight right now might be raising the most badass children you possibly can. It may be doing the best job you can in a job you hate so that you can get a better one and you can influence the world. It may be a voice. It may be writing Substacks. It may be, but you don't get the fight. Human beings were not made to scroll through a million different conflicts and fight all of them.
No.
We weren't made to do that. We were made to run outside of caves, kill things, eat them, and then make love to our wife after we drug her out of the cave by herself. But that's another story.
No, I couldn't agree more. I think that too many people, well, we talked about this before, their religion is their political stance or their battle.
Yes.
And while, sometimes that's important in life to get involved in those things, to make a difference in your community, that ultimately it can't be the defining thing in your life. It'll just rob you. And so you have to look for that joy and ultimate meaning. And really, to connect with people, it is really about one-on-one relationship, sharing joy and love, and not your hateful spiral.
How much people have you actually had one-on-one conversations with?
Patients I have. I mean,
Right.
Not a lot, but a few. Probably.
How many are cranky?
Oh gosh, none.
None.
No.
Not a single one. Like, you look at their life, it is so austere. Like, you can't have chrome bumpers on your buggy. Blah, blah, blah. And they are happy. They are happy riding a bicycle in a super long skirt in Sarasota, like, which in the middle of March when it's really hot. Like, but it really makes you wonder, like, when you're connected to the source, it's kind of, I was thinking about a metaphor for this. Joyful warrior. How can we be joyful warriors? It's kind of like this. If you had just picked up the check from your winning lottery ticket and you had just won $500 million and you're driving your 1994 Corolla to the Lambo dealership to pick up your new car, and you got in a wreck and it totaled off your Toyota, how upset would you be? You wouldn't. You'd go, oh, this is great. Now the wrecker can just take it. I don't have to trade it in.
Right.
Because you know what's coming. And I think that's what makes people joyful warriors, is you know what's coming. You know that ultimately this ends well for those of us that are called by Christ. And that's why the people on the other side are becoming so crazy and irrational, because they don't have any of that hope.
Well, all we can do is keep bringing you some hope and, I don't know, let you go a little crazy at times with some of these news stories you dig up and share. But for the most part.
Right. Because where else, other than Doctales with Cocktails, can you learn about fake pubic hair, vaccines, the word retarded, skiing for 100 years, vodka, and biblical exegesis? I suggest nowhere.
And on that note, tune in again next week for more crazy antics on Doctales with Cocktails, and catch us on our guest interviews. Cheers, and thanks for tuning in.
It's no secret that medicine is a bit, uptight. That's why Tim and I created BS Free MD, to mix things up a little and have fun in the process. Besides, we are having these exact same discussions all the time, so we thought we might as well invite everyone to the party. If you really like us, you can get plenty more, and maybe see one of Tim's cool tattoos on our Instagram or Facebook pages at BS Free MD. See you next time.
But we try to keep BS Free MD as raw and real as possible, We can't be held responsible for any medical decisions or discussions had as a result of what you've heard on the show. We know, bummer. But the truth is, we really do care about your questions. So feel free to reach out to us by email at doc@bsfreemd.com.